Said already. Good morning to you all. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are listening, watching in from. I am your inimitable host, Skye Logan, Director of Philanthropy Investing here at Equity and Help. Once again, under good discussions about things. Today, how you can be the bank. So we all want to make money, absolutely. But additionally, we here at Equity and Help are a little different than your usual investment vehicle, that we are very driven by our purpose to help others. Okay. And that's why our clients are loving us. They're making a solid return. Our median net performance, cash in pocket, last year for all of our portfolios was 11.04%. So that's a pretty solid return. You know, we are a low risk, high return system, and our clients like us because we do all the work for them. It's not decision free. Our clients have to be involved with some of the decisions, the properties they purchase and various things, but they like the fact that they're making money and giving a hand up to the families. But what we've replicated is the successful action of the banking industry out there. So if you want to be successful, replicate success. That's a pretty simple. That'll help shorten that learning curve when you're involved with anything. Study others. What did they do? So in our case, how you can be the bank with our system. This is the position that our clients are in. Okay, we want them to be the bank. The guy in the middle who's, no matter what's going on around it, it's the financier that's making bank. That's why their term comes from. You're making bank. All right, so that's what we're going to be discussing today. So welcome to you all. There we go. Let's get underway. Looking at some notes there. Everyone can hear me, I hope, fine. I see a note I'm muted, but then I think I'm okay. All right. So how to be the bank. All right. So traditional way banks make money. So, I mean, who doesn't want to make money like a bank? I mean, it's a $1 trillion industry, right? The interest alone, the various ways that they make their money. So how do they make the revenue? What are all the various ways? Have you ever looked at that? Have you ever studied that? So if I'm going to tell you, good, Joe, I want you to be the bank. So what does that mean exactly? Okay. So, well, what's quite interesting, whenever you analyze how these banks make money, they're using other people's money, OPM, right? Everybody loves that. So bank takes the deposits from the customers. Okay, and they lend it out to someone else. So we're going to be looking over that. So what does that look like? Not this slide, but the next one through here. But so imagine if, let's just go back here real quick. I borrow money from Jane. Okay, $500,000, whatever it is. She puts the money. I don't borrow it. She puts it in my bank, gives it to me. I utilize that money, and I lend it out to somebody else. So I'm making money I'm giving a little bit of payout to Jane, very low, but I'm lending it out to someone else and I'm making money. Okay, it's an ingenious system. So this is where the revenue comes. Good morning, Karen. It's good to see you again. Always love to have you on here. So where does the bank's revenue come from? Okay, so look at that. Interest income, 65% of their revenue. Okay. So it's an unspoken secret that banks make 4 to 5% on every dollar deposited. Okay. They don't need their own money. They can take your money. They make money on that money. Okay. So if they're making 4 to 5% on someone else's money, that's a difference. That's a 500% gain, right? So close as that 65% is, you know, that interest income. Additional big areas here, service charges, 10%. All right, capital market, asset management costs, 10%. Mortgages, look at that. That's shocking, actually. 5% for mortgages. That actually was a shocker to me. Loan fees, 5%, others. So lots of fees in here, various things, but definitely interest income by far the largest thing. So if I'm going to replicate this, I need to study how do they do that? What does this mean? Okay, and how can I make money off of it, and how can I protect my capital, protect my clients while doing that, protect ourselves. Okay, this system that we have as far as equity help goes, we're one of the largest investors in our system. And so we're doing super well by it, but we're also, we want to help 10,000 families, and we can get there much quicker if we open that capital up to others, the other investors or philanthro investors. Okay. But how do I do that? So I'm going to show you an infographic here just a moment, but imagine, so a bank pays out 1% APY, okay, the annual percentage yield or the rate, okay? Customer who gets auto loans, so again, Jane puts the money in the bank, I give her 1%. So it's $100,000, I give her 1%, okay? So then there's a customer who wants to come and do a car loan, all right? He's paying me 6.27% on average, okay? So he's paying me 6.27 of that money, and I have to pay Jane 1%. So obviously that difference is 5.27% that I'm making on someone else's money. I get to make that. Ingenious, right? Absolutely ingenious. So banks do it obviously all the time. So it takes the money to make more money. So again, so Frank deposits this money, in this case, noted down 2% interest rate. Frank's happy. Okay, he's making 2%. Now keep in mind, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. He has an IRA, been saving for 30 plus years, and he's been making 7% on his IRA. Okay, but they just notified him that his investment that he has it with is it's a guaranteed 7%. And it was only on a 3-year term. And they're going to renegotiate. So it's a new 3-year term, but they're only going to pay him out as a 6% guarantee. So, okay, making 6%, which is kind of a super common story. Now, what is the common inflation rate, or just the average inflation rate? Even if you take a conservative of 4% off his 6% he's making, he's actually only gaining 2% on his money. Okay, he's in retirement actually, 70 years old almost. Okay, how does he do that? You just can't. So you obviously have to consider that. And that was a conversation we had last week, quite a bit in the last week's webinar. But so if you have a savings account, various things, you're making 2% interest rate. Okay, so fine. At least your money's not dying, but so you're happy. Bank is even happier. Okay, because the bank can lend that money. Okay, they're going to make a lot more money on that. Banks know how to make a lot more money on that, like 10%. Okay, so you can take all that reserve. So say it has 1,000 people, they all pay $100,000. So whatever, that comes to $10 million, whatever. They can take that, invest it, and make 10% on that. And then they can literally lend out or loan out just that gain that they get from that and continue the growth, right? I'm sure you can quickly see how the bank is making money off of you. So if Yana wants to open her own business, she needs money. So she takes a loan out for 5% interest rate. So if Fiona's happy, she gets her money for a business. Bank is even happier. Okay, so keep in mind, they took Frank's money. The bank's going to make money off of that because they're investing it. Now Fiona wants to make money and wants to have a business. 5.5% interest rate on that loan. Okay. So bank keeps 10% of Frank's deposit for reserves. Basically, bank gives 2% to Frank because of the various deposits, various things, right? And lend money to Fiona with a 5.5 interest rate. Okay. So just out of just this point here, right, they're making 3.5 points on that money. Just that, not taking into consideration what they're investing and what they're making as far as a yield on their own investment income. Okay. So how can an individual, how can a person make money like a bank? How do you do that? So obviously the quick recap here, banks lend the money to people because that reduces their own risk, their portfolio risk. They lend it out to others to make money off of that. They charge interest, they charge fees, they start charging fees on top of everything, the interest that they're making on the loans that they give out. Okay. So let's compare that to, so there's that scene. So let's compare it to, say, equity and help. Okay. So imagine saving a low ball figure super conservative. I always talk to my clients, my prospects coming in through the due diligence period. If anything, I'm going to scare them away because I want them to I want to lowball their figures like crazy. They're always shocked by the end of it, especially once they're onboarded. They're like, man, I'm making a lot more than what you initially told me. So yeah, that's our job. We want to overperform, but I really want, if they can come in with a much lower expectation, it's easy to over deliver. Okay. So let's just imagine you have 8% return. So equity and help, someone invests money with equity and help. Okay. Say 8 to up 12%-ish. So let's say 8%. All right. Based on the purchase of a property that has a 40 to 60% ARV or after repair value. Okay. You're going to have that recurring cash flow coming in from this. Okay. From that growth. Okay, now you're paying cash or you're paying investments. One of the qualifiers for it is that you actually have that cash, that capital. You're not leveraging debt. You're not taking out a loan to invest with equity and help. So say if I'm making you 10% and you have a 5% loan, you're only making 5 points. You're like, well, it's someone else's money. OPM, who cares? Well, if inflation rate conservatively is at 4%, you're literally only making a 1%. You're going through all that work for 1%. Okay. Not a good strategy. You might think it is initially, but you actually look at it, it's not. All right. So compare that again to one of our systems where you get the cash flow and that capital growth. All right. So look at a comparative here. So this is an investment here. So all of our loans to our family. So you're taking your money. So for the sake of easy numbers, just say $100,000. You're financing, you're giving $100,000. You're being the bank, the financier. You're lending out $100,000, okay, to them. Like I said, last year, on average, we were giving back 11%, 11.04% net. That's after all expenses, after everything else. You're making 11%, but let's just call it 10% to lowball. 10% off of your money. Okay. Absolutely fantastic. They get a home. Okay. So right here you can see, so you buy the properties. You have 11 properties. The blue line here is number of properties. So let's say this is an actual portfolio. This is actually happening with one of this particular clients. So say you have 11 homes, you buy 11. It's a 20-year. It's always a 20-year land contract. All right. And this orange here is what you're taking out. Okay. Your revenue from your properties is this orange line. And you are reinvesting 50% of it, and you're pocketing 50% every single month of the monthly distributions. And the other 50%, you're leaving it in the account to reinvest and to grow your capital. Okay, so that's this orange line here is what you're taking in your pocket. This is total revenue. And this shows the number of properties based off of your reinvestment you're building up to. Okay. 26, 27, 28, 30. So you're still pocketing 50% and it's still growing. Okay. That is this is unkillable portfolio. Okay. As long as you don't take out too much here, it's going to just continue to grow. I mean, if you look at that, it gets to a point where every 3 to 4 months you're buying a new property, right? 44 properties at this point. That's a huge growth from 11 to 44. That's crazy over that time period, this 20-year time period. So one, I really have to handle my clients on, or my prospects are come in, is a short-term mentality. Okay, like, oh, I got to make quick buck, 3 years, as opposed to this longer span where you allow that growth and that compounding interest, as a lot of investment advisors like to talk about. You allow that to happen, all right? And if you're able to sustain that, you make this investment early on in your life where you're still making money yourself, you're still young, right? Imagine if you did this at 45, by the time you're 65, this is what you would have, all right? So you did it at 45, you still work until you're 55, you could start taking out money at that point and quit your other job and retire at 55. Oh, well, Skye, oh my Lord, this sounds absolutely awesome. Yeah, absolutely is. So that kind of gives you, so this is like being the bank. You're simply being the financier to someone purchasing a house. They take care of all the costs of that house, the taxes, the insurance. You're being a bank. Banks deal with money. You're providing the money. You're not providing the work to fix the sink. You're not having to do that yourself as a landlord. Okay, so that's the beauty of that. This is a portfolio actually that's occurring right now. I show a lot of our portfolios. This is an example of one that's, how many does this have in it? 15 properties or so. I don't think it didn't scroll down to all of them. Let's see, but showing 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Oh yeah. No, so this one's got the 9 properties in it. That's this one. Look at that. This is the actual production for 2020. Okay. This is an actual, what happened real time. Okay. I can actually share this with any of you. If you request it, just chime in right there in the chat. I can share this portfolio with you. It's a dynamic. You can click on things and see what's happening in real time. But that's 14.64%. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. You're just making money off your money. Okay, that's what we do over here. So that's what I'm talking about. So being a bank, how to be the bank. Okay, you don't, in stocks and various things, you're obviously not the bank. It's kind of a different deal. If you're being a landlord, you're buying rentals, you're being a landlord. Okay, you're not being a bank. You're not providing the finance for it. You're just buying a house, fixing up the house, whether you're flipping it or you're buying it to fix it up, then rent it out. You're being a landlord. Okay, and everything that happens with that. So my clients that come into me that are already doing that, the reason that they switch is simply what I'm talking about. They've decided they don't want to be a landlord. They don't want to have a job. They're done having a job. They want to retire. They want to let their dollars work for them. Okay. So that's that is being the bank, right? You don't see the bankers out there once they purchase the house or after they help someone get the house. You don't see them out there actually doing the work. Those guys are in their suits, kind of like me, right? Sit there, they just provide the money. Money makes money. Okay. So that's kind of the end of that discussion there. Let's see if we have some questions here. Absolutely. Hi, Sheila. Absolutely. I will share that with you for sure. Karen, yep, I will share that with you. Everybody else, a lot of people. Okay, good. I will absolutely share that with you. And I have your email address. Probably, you know what? I'm going to blast that out to everyone because it's really interesting to see that portfolio because it's real time. I mean, you can't argue. It's just what it is. It's 9 random properties just randomized thrown into that, so you can really look at it. I don't get to choose necessarily what's in those. I'm not showing just the best. Some of them aren't going to be the best. They're going to look ugly sometimes. They're going to go vacant. I've looked at that sometimes in a house end up going vacant and it's not performing. So I want clients to understand that stuff happens, but our system is set up with that expectation. Okay, that's the beauty of it. So again, how hard is your money working for you? Not you working for the money, but your money working for you, just like a bank. Okay. So discover the core facts about our program. Download our free information pack that you can see there, equityandhelp.com, Philanthro Investor-Opportunity. That will be sent out to you so you can look at that. I'll make sure of it. Kaylee, take note. A little shout out to her. All right, reach out to me, set up a discovery call. I'm all over the website. If you just click, schedule something, my calendar's on there. I love to talk. So reach out to me and let's talk because I love to do that. So again, my name's Skye Logan. Thank you very much for coming for this week's webinar, and I look forward to talking to you next week. All right.